Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Happy Saturday. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. We got news for today, July 29th. Video gaming news. And then we're going to dive into more Remnant 2, man. We did a lot of streaming yesterday, so it might be not quite as much today. But this game's a banger. Needs a little bit more polishing on the optimization side. It's I think doing some GPU throttling, and it's causing some occasional frame drop, which doesn't feel great, but it's not so bad as to it's affecting my overall experience too much. Everything else about the game feels amazing. I would really like to see the developers get that fixed sooner rather than later, because it doesn't feel good. But everything else the game is providing is really hitting the spot for me. So it's a lot of fun. It's difficult. Lots of secrets to figure out, puzzles to figure out, cool things to collect and equipment to get. Nice RPG system in it and everything, man. It's very cool. I'm digging it. And we'll get into it. Let's get into this new stuff, though. Let's see what we got. Let's go ahead and kill the music. And let's see what we got going on here for video gaming news for today, okay? Let's go. All right. Square Enix promises to bring games to Xbox whenever possible. Okay. We'll see exactly what, I mean, is this, it's not like they've never brought games to Xbox before. Is this just a play to news? Oh yeah, we touched on this already, dude. Yeah. Yeah, we touched on this already, brother. Yeah. Yep, we talked about this already. Gasp. Yeah. Yep, we already hit on this, brother. Yep. So, I appreciate it. I'll touch on it real quick, but I won't go in like super detail about it or anything. Yeah, thanks, man. What's up, brother? How you doing? How was work this week, dude? I know that you were taking up the slack for one of your coworkers being on holiday, man. No, that's cool. It's not going to hurt anything to touch on it again real quick. But yeah, and I appreciate you bringing it to my attention. Yeah. Yeah, we touched on it probably about a week to a week and a half ago. Thrilling. The 13-hour shifts were so fun. I bet. Yeah, I kind of figured you were pulling some pretty lengthy ones, dude. Since I didn't see you around much, I figured you were probably really banging out the long shifts there at work, man. Yeah, yo, Remnant 2 is fun, dude. I went hard last night too. I did like a 9 hour yesterday, and then took a 2 hour break, and then came back and streamed till like Jesus 10:30 because I just wanted to play the game. I'm tired this morning, but it was the game's got me hooked, dude. The Remnant 2 is fun, dude. I really enjoy it. It's got a little bit of some issues on the GPU optimization side they need to fix up. You'll drop a few frames here and there, but then it'll level back out. So other than that, dude, the game's a banger. Oh, were you? Yeah, it's cool. It's a good game, dude. I like it a lot. I like it. It's fun. Yeah, it's neat, dude. It's pretty neat. Um, well, weekend off, yeah. Getting to chill out, relax a little bit, hopefully, man. Long work week, dude. Thanks for bringing that to my attention, though. Our attention, everybody's attention. That might not, because there might have been some people that didn't catch that in the news before. So, won't hurt to cover it again real quick. You know? Yeah, man. Um, So I don't know. We'll touch on this, dude. Final Fantasy 14's finally headed to Xbox. That's gonna be part of this, you know. The Path of Exile 2, I forgot that they were doing the Path of Exile 2 showcase stuff late this month. It must have already happened. So let's bring this up and take a look at this as well. All right, let's see what else we got. Isn't this Magic Call of Duty? Immortals of Avium? I can't, dude. I'm sorry. It's just too much. I think that's what this is. The Baldur's Gate 3 is quickly approaching. A lot of hype about that, man. Dude, we watched hold on, let me pull up Steam real quick. So Atlas Fallen's hitting at a $50 price point. Huh? What the crap was that? And this is hitting on the 10th. Yeah. I don't necessarily think this game looks bad or anything. It's not super appealing to me. I think there's a bit of hype around this. I think that's kind of obvious, actually. This is the same developer behind Deck 13. I think this is the same developer that did the oh god, what was the name of those games, dude? I'm tripping right now. Come on, show me Deck 13 stuff, dude. Surge, the Surge games. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. The Surge. I couldn't think of the name of those games. Um, and while those weren't games that like blew people away or anything, they were considered pretty good. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with Atlas Fallen there. I think it might be one of those types of games you want to wait and see on. I think the Surge games were pretty good, but I think they had some issues as well. And I think it's just one of those things where you might want to wait and just see how Atlas Fallen is on release. It looks pretty solid just from what we've seen, but developers are always going to show you what you want to see, right? So I don't know. What was the Jesus, we saw like 18, 19 minutes of gameplay of was it Lords of the Fallen? Is that the name of it? Yeah, Lords of the Fallen, dude. We saw like 18 minutes, 19 minutes of gameplay of this yesterday, and it looks really good. It's really intriguing after seeing all that gameplay yesterday, too. Looks pretty solid. Lots of games coming out over the next couple of months, man. Lots of them. Talked about this yesterday. We've got that up. Obviously, yeah, we know that. Yeah, yeah. Look, I haven't even really needed to dive into. We saw where basically the ESRB is promoting the idea of utilizing facial, like this facial age estimation software to determine whether people should be able to access game content or not. And ultimately, you know what that means. They're trying to scan kids' faces. Right? So whenever I first saw that, I said I didn't even need to dive into that article. I was like, this is not going to go over well. I'm not a fan of it. Personally, I think that, you know, perfect world, it would be fine because it would be like, you know, if it was never going to be used for anything bad, then, you know, it would be fine. It'd be whatever, you know. But that's not the way technology works. That's not the way, you know. Every time we engineer anything for advancement, you know, there are always people that use it for good. There are always people that use it for bad. And these companies can say that they're just going to use it for facial recognition, for age determination, for whether or not individuals should be accessing age appropriate content or whatever. Yeah, yeah, exactly, dude. There you go. Yeah. Easy, dude. But we know, dude, throughout the age of technology, how many companies out there have said we won't take, you know, we're not going to store your data. We're not going to hold on to your data or whatever. You know, and ultimately, who's going to be behind this technology? It'll be a corporation. It'll be people that are utilizing it on the back end. There'll be people that use it for ill will. There'll be people that use it to probably track certain youth that they find appealing looking or whatever. There will be, um, you know, instead of just scanning, it'll actually, you know, they'll start storing images when, you know, that's not something that should be done. I mean, there are lawsuits all the time already that happen because there are laws in place that underage, like youth accounts, data can only be stored for so like a limited amount of time before it has to be scrubbed and gotten rid of. And companies get fined all the time because they don't take care of that data the way they're supposed to. You know, I mean, it's this kind of stuff that you know is just going to be the same thing in this front as well as what we've seen throughout. You know, the age of technology with everything else that has to do with youth and everything. So I mean, there are significant concerns around it. And I think the concerns around it definitely outweigh the amount of good it would actually do, really, to be honest. I think that ultimately what has to happen here is you have to have guardians, parents, you know, some kind of parental figure, somebody that is willing to have some kind of oversight into what kind of content children should and should not be engaging in, right? I mean, that's what it comes down to. It's the facial recognition stuff or age estimation stuff is not gonna it's not gonna solve this, dude. They're still gonna, like Pinky just said. I mean, he was kind of, you know, trolling out a little bit, but dude, there'll still be all kinds of ways that kids find to circumvent this process. Anyways, it's not like it's gonna be a foolproof system. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be create more issues than it's actually worth, in my opinion. We've got this up. Street Fighter 6 fans demand Garbage feature be removed. See what that is. Yeah, there's some new free games on Epic and everything. Homeworld Remastered Collection and Severed Steel. These are free right now on Epic Games. You can either get it off of their application, desktop app, or you can go to their website. Your account's free. You just have to create an account, grab the free games. It's easy, man. You just click them, add them to your cart. It's almost like purchasing them, but they're free. And next week will be Bloons TD6 and Loop Hero, which they've given away before, but these are two very good games right here. So, grab your free games, dude. There's no reason not to be grabbing free games. We've already kind of hit on this, so I'm not going to dive into that either. But know that Double Dragon Advance and Super Double Dragon coming to modern consoles. Wait. No, I don't think we have hit on this. I was thinking of the new Double Dragon game coming out. Interesting. Yo, sick, dude. Okay, that's cool. My bad. Yeah, neat, dude. Old school Double Dragon. Let's go, dude. Bangers. NVIDIA RTX 4090 Ti reportedly canceled. Let's see what's going on there. All Path of Exile 1 and 2 microtransactions will be usable in both games unless they're hyper-specific. Interesting. Okay. PS Plus subscribers be able to play Promising RPG for free at launch. See what that is. Yeah, I think this is one of those Xbox fails here. The Insomniac thing, if I remember correctly. Specifically. Oh, are you serious? They don't have any screenshots of Homeworld? What? That's weird. Okay. Interesting. Nice. Weird, dude. Good to know. Um yeah, if I remember correctly, Insomniac was trying to get Xbox to buy into this multi-platform like Spider-Man thing or something. I don't remember exactly what the ins and outs of it were. Or maybe Sony had the right? Does Sony have the rights to Spider-Man? Maybe Sony had the rights. I don't remember what was going on there. But I don't know. Xbox there are a couple of times. I mean, look, this can be said for any of the console players, really. There have been times where they probably should have jumped on board for a title that they didn't. And looking back, they were like, "Oh, that was a bad play." you know, the two that come to mind of recent. Well, one specifically, I know for Xbox was approached first and foremost. Xbox was approached by MiHoYo with the Genshin Impact stuff, and Xbox was like, "Nah, it's not for us," you know. And then they were like, "Okay, well, let's go see PlayStation about it." It's been very lucrative for PlayStation, I mean, it's been very, very lucrative for MiHoYo, but it's been very good for PlayStation as well. It's the only console it's on right now. It's supposed to be on Switch as well, but they can't get the game working on that hardware. Not a surprise, really. So you either play it on mobile, you play it on PC, or you play it on PlayStation. It's been good for PlayStation, but I mean, all the consoles have these like stories of where they probably should they missed an opportunity. I don't remember exactly what the one was behind that, but don't want to know, we'll probably be playing Blasphemous 2 on release on like August 24th, I think is when it releases. Yeah. Pokemon Presents is set for August. It looks like. We'll pay attention to that. See, rando mode time. Insane. Let's go. The Chadge, dude. The Chadge. Nice. yo, yo. I got holiday cookie, dude. Let's go. I actually won a random mode right at the beginning of the stream yesterday, dude. Gab showed up yesterday for a little while, so I hooked Gabs up with a sub. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I knew that I had read something about Adam Eve getting her own game as well. We know that like Netflix or not Netflix, it's Amazon, right? Amazon already has the episode out there and everything. But I had read that there's like a game supposed to be coming too, and I don't know exactly the ins and outs of it yet. But are they saying it's like Invincible guarding the globe? Yeah, Invincible mobile game. Uh, her own video game was also announced, aside from what we already knew was coming in the Invincible Guarding the Globe title, though, which has all the characters. Um, Releasing on Steam with a future release date to be announced. Fans are able to play as Adam Eve as she navigates with her teen team, her family, and her friends while figuring out the best way to use her incredible powers as a force for good. Interesting. The game is said to be an interactive novel, graphic novel. Players are able to control her decisions that directly impact the game's outcomes, as well as during combat scenes, wielding her remarkable powers against foes. It's supposed to launch this year at some point. The reason I looked into this right now because I was wondering if they were actually referring to a dedicated game for her, which is what I thought I had caught wind of prior, or if they were actually just saying that like she was going to be part of the game coming out that was for the Invincible Guarding the Globe stuff. But apparently, the graphic novel is going to be on Steam later this year. Cool. Apparently, Twisted Metal's a pretty good show, which I'm glad. But I've seen some like reviews and stuff. They're saying that it's pretty solid. It's pretty funny. Um, and I'm glad because I would love to see this bring Twisted Metal back as a modern game for us. Microtransactions are getting out of hand. Agreed. I think the one of the most recent examples that I have experienced was Exoprimal. Exoprimal is a full price video game that is just riddled with transactions. Battle Pass, I mean, you name it, dude. All kinds of cosmetics. It's just it's really pretty shallow on content, to be honest. It felt more like a game that should have been like free to play with as much transactional stuff as there is in the game, and as shallow as it was content wise on release. I'm sure they'll add more to it, but it still doesn't make it feel any better knowing that they'll probably add to it in the future. It is what it is. It feels the way it feels, on release, and a little bit gross, which feels bad coming from Capcom too, because Capcom is one of those AAA developers that I'd kind of been promoting as of recent, with all the other, so many other, anyways, AAA developers having a terrible time releasing quality games. And then Capcom kind of did that, and it was like, man, really? Already talked about that. Yeah, we actually touched on this yesterday. Day before yesterday, during our gameplay, our buddy Tinwin came in and shot me a link to a Twitter video where apparently Fextra Life, everybody, if you know who Fextra Life is, had done a quick video about Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon, and was basically talking about how the game looked not very good. The like the graphical fidelity of the game just wasn't there, but that the game played well, it was smooth and stuff, and I'm like, it feels so bad to have these like prominent influencers saying that kind of crap. Davey, what up, buddy? Um, whenever we are just riddled with so many games and developers and publishers that it seemed like their focus is trying to get things to look as good as possible, with very little regard to how well a game performs anymore. And that feels terrible. Um, it doesn't matter how good a game looks if you can't experience the game. If it doesn't play well, it doesn't matter how good it looks. You know? So for me, and I mean, to be honest, Fires of Rubicon looks absolutely fine to me. Is it mind-blowingly, you know what I mean? The highest fidelity graphical experience I've ever seen in my life? No, it's not. Is it is it the worst thing I've ever seen? Not even close. It looks good. It's not gonna blow anybody's mind, but it doesn't look bad. And from everything that I can tell and everything I've seen from people that have gotten a taste of the game early, it plays very, very well. Now, I don't know what all platforms. The thing is, this is a From Software game, and they normally have trouble on the PC side of things on release. So I would say if you're wanting to play this on PC, you might just hold off and see how it's going to be on release. They're very good at console release. They're not great at PC release. But I will always take a game that has a focus on making sure the game feels nice and optimized and polished over visual quality every single day. Give me that every single day. Because I don't understand. I mean, if the game performs poorly, you can't enjoy the experience anyway. So what's it matter what it looks like if you can't even enjoy it? It's weird. If you can't even play it. But that's what this is about right here. Asmongold Blast critics saying Armored Core 6 has mediocre graphics. Gameplay is king. Dude, I agree, Asmon. I agree. I think that this is it's a bad situation we've gotten ourselves in. There are a lot of people, I feel like, that have this mindset where the thing they care about most is the way a game looks. It's gotten us into this bad situation with the way developers address and publishers address the way they're creating games, and it's what has led, I think, in large part to these terrible performing games that we get released all the time. It's not the only thing that it is attributed to this. I mean, there's a lot of broken things in the industry. I think that you can point to for why this happens, but I think this is one of them. And I think that, you talk about games coming out in 2023 with this modern hardware we have that are locked at like 30 frames on, good hardware. And it's like, I don't understand what's going on, It's really weird. Gotham Knights and Redfall, and I can only assume that it's because they have such a focus on trying to make the game look as good as possible with very little regard to how well the game plays. It's weird. We got that up. That's an opinion thing. Let's dive into these, man. PlayStation Plus subscribers will be able to play Promising RPG for free at launch. Have we touched on this already? Yeah. Sea of Stars releases on August 29th, so a month from now. A month from today. Indie RPG Sea of Stars has garnered considerable attention, as evident by trailers of it surpassing a million views, partially because it's being made by Sabotage Studio, the team beyond popular indie game The Messenger. It also looks quite good, going to be included with a PS Plus Extra and PS Plus Premium subscription when it releases. How long it will be available via certain tiers of PS Plus remains to be seen. Take a look. It's got that old school RPG vibe to it, you know what I mean? Nice. Sea of Stars. When it releases, it'll be available via Switch, Xbox One, Series S, X, and PC, as well as PlayStation and the PlayStation Plus subscription service, right? Like we just read. How much it will cost, we don't know, as that has not been disclosed yet. Do know it's set to also be included with a subscription to Game Pass. So not just PS Plus, but Game Pass as well. If you're into the old school RPG vibes, dude, this looks like it could be a banger. NVIDIA RTX 4090 Ti reportedly canceled. Next, top of the line graphics card from NVIDIA doesn't appear to be coming soon. According to well-known hardware leaker Kopite 7 Kimi, the NVIDIA RTX 4090 Ti has been canceled. Quote, I'm afraid there won't be the RTX 4090 Ti anymore. Some low-grade AD103 and AD106 chips will be in other versions of RTX 4070 and 4060. The 4090 launched nearly a year ago and remains the most powerful graphics card on the market for consumer gamers. With no heavy competition from either AMD or Intel on the ultra-high-end market, NVIDIA canceling the 4090 Ti to instead focus more on the next generation of cards makes sense. Speaking of the next generation, Kopite also says the next flagship GPU from the company, likely the 5090, will feature a 512-bit memory interface. The 4090, in comparison, has a 384-bit memory bus. Combined with multiple sources, I confirmed the gaming flagship of Ada Next will have a 512-bit memory interface. That's the quote from Kopite. As far as when the next gen of NVIDIA cards could be coming, it's not expected until 2025 at the earliest. And NVIDIA spokesperson said, we do not comment on rumors. So this is not official, grain of salt here, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Street Fighter 6 fans demand garbage feature be removed. SF6 is one of the year's biggest releases, attracting millions of players since its release last month. Whether the game and Capcom will be able to sustain a robust player base over time remains to be seen, but it sounds like some players are ready to call it quits if Capcom doesn't remove a garbage feature from the game, aka regional matchmaking. If you live in a densely populated area, this method of matchmaking isn't an issue. However, if you live in a very rural area, then it can quickly become a problem, as it means you will spend your time fighting the same people over and over again. That sucks. To this end, a Reddit post complaining about the feature and demanding its removal has been making the rounds on Street Fighter 6 Reddit page this week. A lot of people had a huge issue with this on SF5. So any news, quote, so any news on Capcom fixing regional matchmaking? I love this game, but I'm in Canada, and at Diamond, I've been fighting the same 10 people on repeat. It is garbage and needs to go, reads the Reddit post. Honestly, it felt like the same 5 people. It wouldn't be so bad, but 2 of them played Jamie and 2 of them played Blanca. I was in a loop of Blanca and Jamie matches for an hour. Trash. How do we get Capcom to fix this? Same here. I live in Iceland. Takes me up to 10 plus minutes to find matches, and it's usually the same people. Adds comment to the post. Quote, don't have the same issue with other games. Wish they would have fixed it by now. So far, Capcom hasn't said a peep about making changes involving regional matchmaking. It's possible negative attention like this could change, but it hasn't yet. And right now, there's no reason to expect this to change. The thing that sucks is this is one of the most highly competitive fighting games in the gaming industry. And if you know people to just search out and friend up and match up and match up with manually, then you can get that done, right? But it still doesn't make up for the fact of what the issue that they're bringing up right here, right? What you would rather have is the entire pool of ranks just out there. And maybe, obviously you could do server based, or, like most live service games, you can decide what servers you want to play on, because obviously this is a worldwide played game. And if you're, playing somebody, you're in the US, you're playing somebody in Japan, and you're connecting to Japan servers, there's going to be some input lag for you compared to them. Probably not, right? They're going to probably be having some pretty smooth gameplay, whereas you're going to be having a little bit of some latency in there, right? Your ping's going to be pretty high more than likely. So having it based more like large regional servers, like North America, South America, based on countries or large continents or whatever, to where people can decide which ones they want to match up with and don't want to match up with based on, how well the connection could be and stuff like that, rather than just regional to where it gets real small and you're only having to fight the same people. That is a pretty big deal they need to address. Double Dragon Advance and Super Double Dragon coming to modern consoles in November. Arc System Works America is set to bring back the nostalgia and excitement for gaming enthusiasts as they announce the release of the long-awaited Double Dragon Advance and Super Double Dragon on modern consoles. After a 20-year hiatus, the classic beat-em-up action games are making a double comeback, set to hit Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and Steam platforms on November 9th. These official ports are set to captivate both old fans and new players alike, with their digital release priced at $10 each, sold separately. I still have original Double Dragon cartridge in my NES right now. I can hear the music in my head, dude. Oh, good stuff, dude. Yeah. Double Dragon Advance, a remake and expansion. Double Dragon Advance, born from the 1987 arcade game Double Dragon, brings forth a stunning blend of remake and expansion, incorporating elements from its sequels and home versions. Players embark on an adventure as the protagonist, Billy Lee, and his brother Jimmy, delving into the world of martial arts to combat the menacing Black Shadow Warriors. Stakes are high as they endeavor to rescue Billy's girlfriend and fellow martial arts student, Marion, from the clutches of the vile adversaries. Super Double Dragon, A Wild New Adventure. Originally released for the Super Nintendo, Super Double Dragon unfolds as the fourth installment in the series. Now on modern consoles, players will witness the return of Billy Lee and Gemma in an exhilarating and wild new adventure. Their journey will lead them through city streets, dense jungles, and ancient temples, all in pursuit of saving Marion, now a courageous policewoman. The perilous quest comes into play when Marion is kidnapped while investigating the notorious criminal organizations known as the Black Shadow Warriors. Cool, man. November 9th, on all the consoles listed previously at $10 each. All right. If you need, I'll link this for you guys just in case. There you go. Very cool, man. Old school Double Dragon. All right, here we go. So, Path of Exile 2 news. Path of Exile 2 pushes action RPG technology to the absolute limit with meta gems that you socket other gems into. Yo, dog, we heard you like gems in your gems. We got gems on gems on gems. Yo, check it out. Yeah, we knew they were doing something different this time. A little bit different, a little bit wild. So instead of socketing your gems into your armor sets anymore and your weapons, I think this is how they're doing it moving forward. I don't think we might need to look up a video. I think they just had a showcase for it was like maybe yesterday, the day before, something like that, for Path of Exile 2. WoW has a category of items called meta gems, which go in special gem slots, can only be equipped if you have a specific number of other gems already slotted into your gear. They can have powerful bonuses, but in practice, they mostly just make me frustrated enough to yell at my computer as I trek to the auction house to buy another round of color-coordinated gold sinks. PoE 2, Path of Exile 2, shown off in detail, looks like yesterday at ExileCon, has meta gems. They're part of a revamped skill system that throws away item links in lieu of skill gems that you socket into more gems. Yeah. We had heard whenever Path of Exile 2 first got announced, they were really, Grinding Gear Games was really talking about getting rid of socketing and linking your equipment items for your skills and your skill gems and doing it more like this in some capacity. And I don't know all the ins and outs of it yet, but we'll probably take a look at it. What is this? All right, we need to look at this too. Gemception, if you will. PoE 2's meta gems are capable of all sorts of nonsense. The spell totem meta, for example, can be used to equip multiple skills into your totems that will cast intelligently. For example, could be arranged so that you immobilize enemies first, then curse them to debuff, and finally hit them with a huge damage spell. Cast on Shock Metagem can be used to link multiple attack skills, resulting in a huge cacophony of destruction once you've zapped some mobs a few times. With PoE 2 being announced as a fresh start, I wonder if it might present an opportunity for a bit of simplification. Path of Exile is notoriously difficult for new players to pick up, and I joke that it requires an advanced math degree to come up with a build for it. It is a very, very deep game. I actually, whenever I talk about Path of Exile, and I compare it, you know, it often gets a comparison to something like Diablo, because they are the same genre of game. They're also very different in the fact that most people would consider Diablo, like Diablo 3 and even Diablo 4, to be more of the casual gamer's friend, right? Whereas Path of Exile, and I'm guessing Path of Exile 2 will be very similar to Path of Exile 1. It is a game that requires a lot of time, a lot of knowledge, and dedication to be very good at it. It's just, they're very, very, it's a very, very, very deep game. There's a lot to it, man. A whole lot. And there's nothing wrong with either one. It's just that usually you've got people that either one of those is going to appeal to more. People that don't have enough time to dive into something like Path of Exile, or people that would rather have something like Path of Exile and do have that time, right? What did the game director Jonathan Rogers have to say about that during a press briefing? Simplicity is not a goal of ours. He expanded on that, of course, to say that the skill gem system in Path of Exile 2 has some improvements to be more user-friendly, despite not actually paring down the available options, sort of a have your cake and eat it too situation. And honestly, I was relieved to hear him say that. Path of Exile is great largely because of the absolute craziness involved in building and customizing your character, not in spite of it. Plenty of great ARPGs for players who don't want to dig through a 1,500 node skill tree, and hearing that Path of Exile 2 wasn't going to sacrifice the craziness of the altar of a largely imaginary appeal to a larger audience made me even more excited for its release. Yeah, agreed. I'm glad that it looks like they're sticking to their roots here. Let's take a look at this. PoE 2 is freaking huge. Adds 6 new classes, 100 bosses, and will run side by side with PoE. Yeah. Yeah, we saw our first look at PoE 2 in like 2019. Path of Exile 2 is a separate game from Path of Exile 1, and it's a true sequel set 20 years after the original. Apparently. 2 games, 1 path. Story of Path of Exile 2 is one of scope and creep. Quote, we realized that our plan to replace Path of Exile 1 with Path of Exile 2 would essentially be destroying a game that people love for no reason. So we made a decision, Roger said in the keynote. Path of Exile 1 and 2 will be separate with their own mechanics balanced in-game and leagues. What this means for us as players is essentially twice the Path of Exile. Both games will run concurrently with a league each every 3 months. Rest assured, however, that your beloved stash tabs and righteous fire skins won't be going to waste. Your impossible to craft Legacy 6 links in Standard won't be retconned to have funny new gem links, and anything you purchase in the future will be usable in both games. Unless it's something like a shape-shifting werebear skin, because that's not in PoE 1. Yes, my friends, we're going to be shape-shifting. Here's a quick and almost certain incomplete list of new features for Path of Exile 2. 6 new character classes, along with the original 6 from PoE 1 for a 12 total. Now we're getting the Sorceress, Monk, Huntress, Mercenary, Warrior, Druid. New ascendancies with 3 for each class. A revamped skill gem system where the links are in the gems themselves, not tied to equipment, which we talked about. Tons of new skills, including shapeshifting, bear, wolf, cat, and giant comets. Meta gems, which are gems that can have other gems socketed into them. That's what this is, the skill gem system. New weapon types like spear and crossbow that have their own skills. A 6-act story campaign set 20 years after the death of Kitava. New map-based in-game dodge roll for everyone that doesn't require a gym link, with the ability to dodge, cancel abilities. Changes to crafting and the economy, including the changes to the way chaos orbs work and the introduction of gold as a currency. Over 100 new bosses to battle, each with unique mechanics. So this was probably from yesterday.
The gods caused all this, you know. After Oriath was destroyed, I traveled, searching for answers. Everywhere I went, the same divine devastation. It must end. I will end it. And no exile will stop me.
That's crazy. See that dodge roll? This is a game that's traditionally been loved by a lot of people that enjoy fast movement in games like this, because there's a lot of movement skills in the game. So pretty early on in your runs, you're able to like set up nice gems and linked skills that provide you really fast movement speed. So I wonder what the dodge roll is going to add to the game if they're still doing like movement skills. Ta-ta! This is a brutal flipping game too. They have like hardcore mode on here. It's so flipping brutal. I used to love watching people play, the really good players of this game, watching them play it on hardcore, and I loved it. It's always intense.
Be reborn, no matter
it's always
the
intense,
cost.
man. Cool. That's dope, man. I'm excited. Yeah. Items should be much easier to swap in and out because your skills are no longer tied to them, right, in item sockets. So you won't have to forgo a big upgrade you find just because you don't have the jewelers, fusings, and chromes to make it work, right? Just swap it out. Also assign a whole new section of your passive skill tree to a weapon swap. So if you want to clear packs with shock arc and then swap stabs and drop an ice comet, skill tree will come along with you. That is sick, dude. That's really nice. Yeah. Yeah. We talked about that stuff. All right. I'll let you read the rest of this if you want. There you go. It's looking good. And we already kind of touched on this, but all of your Path of Exile 1 and 2 microtransactions will be usable in both games unless they're hyper specific to the content of one of them. Like there's new characters in Path of Exile 2, right? Like they were talking about, like there's going to be a shapeshifter in Path of Exile 2. So if you have like certain cosmetics for that character, you won't be able to use those cosmetics in Path of Exile 1 because that character doesn't exist in Path of Exile 1. So there are special situations where those kinds of things won't work in the other game. But things like probably, stash tabs and like cosmetics that you've acquired for just weapon skins or, you know, pets or whatever. That stuff will go between both games and everything, which is really cool. I'll let you read this too, but that's basically what this is going to tell you. All right, Final Fantasy XIV is finally headed to Xbox. Phil Spencer appeared during FanFest to announce the news. Critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV is finally coming to Xbox. During the FF14 FanFest keynote, Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer appeared to announce the news alongside game director Naoki Yoshida. We want to bring the Xbox community and your Warriors of Light together in a way that is safe, secure, engaging, and above all fun, Spencer said. Since the game's launch in 2013, the MMORPG has only been available on PC and PlayStation. According to Yoshida, one of the biggest requests from fans was to bring the game to the Xbox platform. As a result, Final Fantasy XIV will come to the Series S and X and feature faster loading times and 4K resolution for the Series X. Fortunately, Xbox fans won't have to wait for the game's latest expansion to play. According to Yoshida, the Xbox version will launch in spring of 2024 with an open beta to take place sometime around the launch of patch 6.5. Progress from the open beta will carry over, so Yoshida encouraged Xbox players to sign up for the beta as soon as possible. Cool. Along with that, Square Enix promises to bring games to Xbox whenever possible following Final Fantasy XIV announcement. So, along with the announcement that we just talked about, a quote also from Yoshida. As CEO of Square Enix, we want to continue to deliver fabulous games to the fans across the world. And of course, we want to welcome the Xbox community as well. Starting with today's announcement of Final Fantasy XIV coming in spring of 2024 to Xbox and whenever possible, we are planning to bring our games to Xbox for players around the world to enjoy. We are really looking forward to working closely with Phil and the Xbox team to make this possible. Yeah, on its face, the idea that Square wants its games on Xbox consoles might not seem that strange. There's a lot of fascinating context surrounding this statement that makes it a bit extraordinary. That's what I was thinking too. Square has long been the subject of exclusivity deals with both Xbox and PlayStation over the years that have pushed its games towards one console or another for the duration of their launch periods, or even permanently. Most recently, Final Fantasy XVI launched exclusive to PlayStation consoles, and there's been no word yet on an Xbox release or any other platform for that matter. Not that I mean, it's not a traditional Final Fantasy game anyways, really. So, I don't know. The gravitation of Square Enix toward PlayStation has been a serious concern for Xbox, though, as we saw during the recent FTC versus Microsoft trial. One evidence document revealed that Xbox had seriously considered buying Square Enix in 2019, though we did not learn from that document why the deal never occurred. Square Enix also came up repeatedly during the trial, with Final Fantasy XVI used as an example of the kinds of games PlayStation was buying exclusivity rights to in a frustrating but acknowledged part of games market competition. From the trial, we learned how critical it has become to Xbox to stuff its library full of content and to ensure it isn't missing out on major games like Final Fantasy XVI. In light of that, it's no surprise that Spencer has been courting Square Enix for franchises like Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, Nier, Just Cause, and many more. While neither Kiryu nor Spencer elaborated on specifics, their willingness to take the stage together today perhaps hints at a future with fewer PlayStation exclusivity deals for Square Enix content and more Square Enix content on Game Pass. I mean, does anybody think it's any kind of coincidence also that this is like I'm guessing this has kind of been in the works for a while, you know, but this is also happening at the same time that Microsoft is closing a big deal with Activision Blizzard. Microsoft and Xbox is coming upon a big change for themselves in the gaming industry. And would it be a surprise to see that maybe Square Enix took a look at what's happening and thought it might be time to change sides here, you know? Could be part of it. Last but not least, shout out to our buddy Pinky. We've already touched on this previously, probably about a week to a week and a half ago. But if anybody didn't see that and you were not aware yet, Patapon creator shares new details on spiritual successor Ratatan. So at Bit Summit, the annual indie game festival in Kyoto, Japan, Patapon creator Hiroyuki Kitani announced an upcoming Kickstarter campaign beginning on July 31st, which is in 2 days, to fund a new music game that will be a spiritual successor to the long-dormant Patapon series. Excuse me. So I'll show you the trailer here. The new look of Ratatan to that of Patapon, noting that the artwork featured in his earlier games looked more like silhouettes, while Nelnal's creations, as seen in the teaser, include much more color. So here you go.
Whoa! Whoa!
The Kickstarter launches in 2 days. If you're interested in being a part of that, spiritual successor to Patapon, we have Ratatan coming to us. Music will serve as an integral role in Ratatan, and former Patapon composer and sound producer Kimi Adachi has already attached his name to the new project. In Patapon, the little eyeball characters consider the player to be a kind of deity. We want to do more with the music that would show their reverence for the player, almost like a scene from a musical. We didn't have time to implement this due to the short development period. We hope to do more with the music this time to create those kinds of scenes. Talking about the way they were able to address the previous game in relation to what they're trying to do with this title, right? So there's more to read into here if you're interested. But that's the gist of what you need to know there. Kickstarter kicks off in 2 days. There will be links in here, I'm sure, to where you can get in on that if you're interested, right? Shout out to Pinky. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it, man. That's the news, guys. That's the news. Video gaming news for July 29th. Good stuff, dude. Good stuff. You guys rock. Appreciate it. We're going to move on and play Remnant 2 for the remainder of today. I'm not going to go as hard as I did yesterday. It was a great day, and I'm tired. I streamed a lot yesterday, but this game's a banger, man. I really enjoy it, and we're gonna have a good day today too. It won't be a short stream by any means, but it's not gonna be nearly as long as I did yesterday. So thanks for the news segment. Appreciate it. If anybody is getting to check out this content now or maybe even later, we've got all of our video gaming news segments, all of our playthroughs, clips, highlights, funny stuff, me molding out at hard gameplay, you name it. All that stuff's out there on our Twitch channel here and playlist, as well as on the YouTube channel. So go check that stuff out. If you're enjoying any of it, then come hang out with us, man. We go live at 6 a.m. CST 6 days a week. Every day but Wednesday. We always kick off our streams with video gaming news. Stay current on what's going on in the industry before we move on afterwards and play whatever games we have slated for the rest of the day. Other than that, stay healthy, stay safe, be kind. Happy Saturday. And we'll catch everybody tomorrow for July 30th edition of Video Gaming News. All right?